Hello, this is H.C. Bailey, and welcome to the finale of Let's Play Parasite Eve! Today, we've got to escape from the ultimate being chasing after us. So, basically, here's what you gotta do. Just follow my directions. Go up, and then, let's see, we want to go left here. Basically, this is another dick move of the game, where if you get caught by the ultimate being here, you die, then you have to go through all those cutscenes and the final boss fight all over again. Fortunately, though, unlike the first time they do this, this time isn't quite as obtuse or opaque to figure out. I mean, all you got to do is just walk through the hallways and then do a couple things. It's not like before where it's like, well, where the hell am I supposed to go? But this part, pretty straightforward. Just keep ahead of him. Basically, make it to the engine room here. And get to this control panel. I'm just going through the dialogue a little quickly here, because I don't want to get caught by the guy, although I don't think he moves while, Whoa! Get out of there! Get out of there! Okay, phew! Yeah, I don't want to risk getting caught, even though I don't think he moves while... Well, yeah, I think he does move while the dialogue is going on. Never mind. Yeah, so if you really want to read the dialogue, well, pause. But anyway, okay, so we go down there. And then let's see, we go down here. I think the door is on the left, if I recall correctly. Some people call this game a survival horror game. And I would disagree because for the most part, this game doesn't scare me. Except this part. Not because I'm actually scared of the guy. I'm just scared of having to go through all of this all over again. Nuts. Oh, he can fly again? Come on, make it, make it, make it, make it, make it! Ha-ha! Made it. Whew! That was harder than the entire final boss fight altogether. Is Daniel around? Well, it looks like he made it back to shore safely. Yay! It is really over, though. It is. That was the real final boss. Well, for the regular new game, that is. What do you mean? Well, I mean, we're related, so... What do you mean? How would you not know something like that? I mean, they kind of operate on you. I remember what I was doing when I was 7. I'm not that old. Hey, I'm older than Aya. I don't think so. I don't think you can do that with eyes. Wouldn't you just, like, go blind or something? And, well, that's just too bad. But whatever, they're using a whole bunch of fakey science anyway, so whatever. Yeah, I'm not buying that. Well, I guess that explains, at least in-game, why we were seeing Maya throughout the whole game. Oh, well, all right. Well, it was mostly hers, but yeah. Don't screw with Mother Nature? Yeah, there's probably too many of us. Well, there's not a whole lot we can do about that, though. I mean, we tried wars and plagues, but that doesn't seem to get the job done. Or not. What sun? I don't see... Well, maybe there was a... Ah, there it is. It's like, where's the sun you're talking about? Ah, well, it's nice to see that everyone is not all, like, pixels and triangles and polygons and everything like that. So, let's... Oh, we're not going to watch the credits roll yet. Okay. Oh, I think the dialogue is advancing automatically now. No limo this time? You really want to go back to the opera that quickly after what happened? Oh, sorry. I guess I can advance the dialogue, but I think it does advance automatically even if I just let it sit there for a while. What do you mean? Where'd everyone else go? Weren't they just with us? I mean, there's just a tiny little hallway. And they sure replaced all that furniture that was burnt a while ago. Wouldn't, like, everyone else be kind of paranoid about going to Carnegie Hall after the incident? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Call me crazy. Oh, hey, Ben. Maybe they were buying concessions or something. I don't know. What, they got the same music? They went back to the exact same opera house for the exact same opera? That is just really creepy. It doesn't exactly sound like the best plan. Apparently so. What's worse that could possibly happen this time, though? Whoa. I guess they didn't want to take any chances this time. Is this part of the opera? The real fire? Maybe that's just 3D. Well, if you're not gonna burn her, what else are you gonna burn? Besides more witches. Oh. Yeah, don't worry. It's not Eve all over again. She's dead. Isn't she? Is anything gonna get set on fire? What about her? Well, we're gonna put you to death, so do you have any last words? Yes, I do. I have a 2-hour-long opera I would like to recite before you kill me. Or not. Ah. What's going on? Whoa! Okay, so their eyes are turning purple and all glowy-like, and is anyone gonna get set on fire, or I don't know what the point of all that is, viewers. You got me on that one. It doesn't mean anything in the context of this game. I don't know about the next game. I haven't heard any explanation for this. I don't know. I guess just to creep you out before the end or something. I don't know. But let's watch the credits roll then and take a look back on our adventure. It wasn't very long, but short and sweet. And I loved the graphics for this game, especially with the cutscenes and everything, but even the in-game stuff was really good, especially back in the day. Easily a 10 out of 10. It's just a huge step up from what we got with previous games in the CD-ROM era, like, I mean, even Final Fantasy VII. I mean, just well, maybe not everything before this, but a lot of things before this. It just seems it took like about 5 or 10 years for developers to figure out how to do good, or at least remotely competent 3D quality graphics, or at the very least, not with all these polygons and pixelated graphics and everything, where it was just really off-putting to me before, that is. I mean, this was like one of the first games that I played in my childhood that really sold me on 3D graphics, at least being remotely good. I mean, before Parasite Eve, we had some 3D games like Super Mario 64 or Final Fantasy VII and Star Fox, and I mean, those were, well, they were okay. I mean, they weren't horrible, but I mean, it was just still jarring to me, though. I mean, I just strongly preferred the 2D graphics of the era because, well, they were a lot sharper to me, and the 3D graphics of the time, like in the early 90s, they were just so jagged and pixelated, and granted, we still have some of that in Parasite Eve, but, I mean, this was what I would think of as the turning point, at least to me, when they started getting a lot smoother, better resolution, things like that. And this was also one of the first games that I played that was composed by Yoko Shimomura, and I'd give the music a 7 out of 10. It kind of reminded me of Secret of Evermore in a way, where the music was more so in the background for ambience, not so much to evoke an emotional response from the player. I mean, certainly the final boss theme is probably my favorite from the game, but that's not really saying too much in my book. I mean, it was pretty exciting and stuff, but other than that, there's very few songs in the game that made me sad or excited. Though the escape music was kind of scary. That always gets to me, but I mean, that's the only thing, really. In this game, it doesn't faze me very much. And certainly the most controversial part of the game was the plot itself, which I also give a 7 out of 10. Much like most Squaresoft's stories in the late 90s, the plot of Parasite Eve is really weird and convoluted. I mean, on the one hand, though, with Parasite Eve, they do establish strong villain presence very early in the game. And she doesn't disappear for 10 hours of the game, and the game gives you concrete objectives on what you're trying to do, which really is all I ask from a game. On the other hand, we don't really accomplish a whole lot until the very end. I mean, even with all these objectives, I think we fail almost every single one until the very end. And a lot of the medical jargon and key plot points were kind of confusing to me, so I didn't quite understand everything, and it kind of made it difficult for me to empathize with most of the main characters. That's probably why I didn't change my YouTube avatar for this LP, because I didn't really have a favorite. Fortunately, though, the game is pretty short, so I can overlook that. I mean, if it were like a 40-hour game of nothing but this, then I might, be more critical. But for a short game, it works. And also, the action really keeps me engaged in the game, so I'd give the gameplay mechanics an 8 out of 10. Probably the biggest plus I can give the game is how it handles strategic positioning in battles. I mean, usually I hate it when games make positioning a key element of strategy, because it usually takes so long to get in the right position, like a stealth game or something. Or, like, even if you do figure it out, it's like, oh, here's the magic spot. Haha, you can't hit me anymore. But I think Parasite Eve makes positioning reasonably quick, especially once you learn haste. But it still gives enemies enough attacks that are pretty difficult to avoid, so you can't just sit in one spot all day either. So I just don't like it when they do like stealth mechanics, where it just takes forever to sneak around places like that. But yeah, I could say the same thing about equipment customization too in the game. I mean, normally I don't like it when games require you to micromanage equipment like that, like stats, or abilities, or gem sockets, or whatever. But I think Parasite Eve does it pretty well here too. I mean, everything is pretty well easily found, except maybe for a few chests that are difficult to find. I mean, it's not like you have to farm mats or reagents to craft stuff, or rare drops and like that. And I mean, all the abilities are in plain sight. They're right there on the equipment. You don't have to guess which weapons might have or can learn which abilities. And finally, even if you don't know things like burst overriding random shot, you can still primarily focus on just the raw stats of the weapons and you'll do fine. I mean, knowing how the abilities work is certainly optimal, but you don't have to do that. So overall, I'd give Parasite Eve an 8 out of 10. Certainly above average, different for its time. I don't know if I'd call it revolutionary, but well, I'd say it's a very good game. The graphics might be revolutionary, but I mean, the game as a whole, I mean, they were trying to go for like a cinematic RPG. So, well, it is what it is, but I'd say it's a very good game, though. Now, I was just talking about a regular new game there because this LP, I wanted to mention about a regular new game because this LP is far from over yet, viewers. We still have New Game Plus to do, or X Mode, as it is called in Parasite Eve. Much like Hex's Force, you restart the game at level 1, but you start with a couple big advantages. First, you get a ton of abilities, bonus points to spend at the beginning, and you'll get even more for completing each day of the game again. And second, you get to carry over your engraved weapon and armor that Wayne engraved for you, including any bonus points you dumped into them. And that's why I said to use your bonus points on your weapons, because anything you invest into like a T-ray or inventory, those all get lost. And then probably the most notorious difference, and most notable difference, with X mode is that you gain access to a bonus dungeon, the Chrysler Building. It's a randomly generated 77th floor dungeon, and there's our 3,000 bonus points that we get. And yeah, the Chrysler Building has some of the best equipment in the game. Lots of new abilities, super bosses, an alternate ending. The first 40 or so floors of it are pretty easy, but after that, the difficulty spikes really hard. It's not entirely random, actually, but I'll go over that when we get to it. So I hope you've enjoyed the regular new game of Let's Play Parasite Eve. What I'm going to do now is play up to the no turning back point again in day 5, because, well, you're going to need those levels for the Chrysler Building. I may also decide to show off some things that I do along the way, like the bonus points that I get, how I'm going to spend stuff, some preparations, things like that. And but for the most part, I'm pretty much just going to start the next episode on day 5. I'm going to head to the Chrysler Building there, and I hope you enjoy it. This is H.C. Bailey, signing off. Have a good day.